Acknowledgement.
Igratu haku jijiya. Mambe pamuko varuba. Kukwa. Ngario. Wakakanati. Igratu haku jijiya. Wakati manukolo izizuna nokumulira. Chona kinchima. Bola la mucha. Wanga chonati izi. Igratu haku jijiya. Jawati man wogratong. Igratu haku jijiya. Mambe pamuko varuba. Kukwa. Ngario. Wakakanati. Igratu haku jijiya. Ngario. Wakati manukolo tunan nokumulira. Okumile. Chona kinchima. Bola la mucha. Igratu haku jijiya. Mambe pamuko varuba. Kukwa. Ngario. Wakakanati. Igratu haku jijiya. Ngario. Wakati manukolo tunan nokumulira. Okumile. Chona kinchima. Bola la mucha. Ngario. Wakati manukolo tunan nokumulira. Okumile. Chona kinchima. Bola la mucha.
Acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. Ready.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerga Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftains, Gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us. Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there, but they'll be quieter now. I think I'll give you a bonus for this. You've more than lived up to your side of the bargain. Zerga Corporation thanks you. It would be valuable to have someone on call if the sand people made another incursion. I think you're right. Yes, here's an additional reward. Once again, Zerga Corporation thanks you.
Ah, just the person I was hoping to see.
Save it, Griff. I'm not talking to you. I want no part of whatever you're involved in.
Okay, sis, I see you're still mad. Fair enough. I don't think you can help me with this anyway. It's, more of a job for your friend here. As you may know, tack glands can be refined to a very potent powder. It's the primary ingredient in Teresian ale. That's what makes it so strong. Of course, now that Taurus is pretty much wiped from the face of the map, Teresian ale has become somewhat scarce and, very, very valuable. Luckily, I know the secret recipe. I know this guy. He's with the Exchange. Now, if I give him a small sample of Torresian ale, he says he can synthesize it and reproduce it in mass quantities. Problem is, I need one of those tack glands to make the first batch, and now that Tars is a smoking ruin, the only place to find tack is on Kashyyyk. If you can get your hands on one of those tack glands, I'll make it worth your while.
Griff, are you blind? Can't you see you're talking to a Jedi? We're out here trying to save the galaxy. We can't waste time on this.
Please, you have to help me. I promised this guy from the Exchange a sample of Torresian ale. If I don't come through for him, he's gonna break my legs. Or worse. Yeah, I knew you'd come through for me. You won't regret this. You'll see. Just don't take too long, okay? This guy from the Exchange could stop by any day. I kinda told him I already had the stuff, so if he shows up and I'm empty-handed, well, let's just say I really, really hope it doesn't come to that. You're back! I knew you'd come through for me. I knew I could count on you. You do have a tech land for me, right? Yeah, I kinda told him I already...
Hey there, what can I do for you? I'm worried about Griff and his latest plan. I got a bad feeling about it. He doesn't know anything about brewing Torresian ale, and now he's got himself mixed up with the Exchange. Sometimes Griff can be so stupid. Part of me just wants to let him get what's coming to him. Why not? He turned his back on me. He abandoned me on Terrace, so maybe I should just leave him high and dry now. Maybe a couple broken kneecaps will do him some good. Maybe that's just the kind of jolt he needs to turn his life around. Only, what if they do something worse? They might kill him. I don't want him to die. He doesn't deserve that. But I just can't keep supporting his crazy schemes. Someone has to teach him a lesson. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not gonna change him. Griff is gonna keep on being Griff. Maybe if we get these tack glands for him, things will work out. Or maybe he'll finally see the light and turn over a new leaf. I know it's not likely, but it's all I have to hope for.
How can I help? About my mother. Then I suggest we move... I'm here.
Ready?
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
What? What?
What is it?
Yeah, what do you want? We fought against the Republic forces for some time, over the course of many battles. At the start, they were not much of a threat to speak of. But once the Jedi Revan took charge, things began to turn against us. The Republic fleets began to use more than just basic tactics. Feints, counterattacks, mass deceptions. Revan was a genius on the field. Revan abandoned worlds of their defenders so that others would be too fortified to strike, and was willing to make sacrifices in order to advance goals. And in the end, Revan proved too much for us. There was no one else. The entire Republic had committed its forces behind Revan. The Sith had retreated back to their empire, and there were none else strong enough to challenge us. It looked like the entire galaxy was within our grasp. I still remember that final battle in the skies above Malachor 5. The two fleets filling the space around it, outshining the stars. It was not your ships, or your men, or your vaunted fight for freedom that won this, the final battle of the war. It was by the actions of one person, the Jedi Revan, that you prevailed. His strategies and tactics defeated the best of us. Even Mandalore himself was taken aback by the ferocity of his attacks, the tenacity of his defenses, and the subtleties of his plans. He fought us to a standstill, and then began pushing back. We really didn't have a chance. It was what we had wanted all along, in a way. We wanted to fight the best, in a battle that would be remembered for centuries. And we did. And Revan won. I don't hold a grudge against Revan, and neither do any of my people. It was the greatest moment of my life to be in that battle. If Revan had been a Mandalorian, nothing in the galaxy would have stopped us. But wishing for the past to be different is useless. Better look to the future, as we should now. We'll talk more later, I think. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Yes. What is it? I was remembering Taris. No, it's all right. I think I'm over the worst of it. I apologize again for lashing out at you. It was not your fault. It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated. Living for years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor. There was always the danger of Rakuls coming up from the sewers, or more mundane predators living and working in the area. My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford. With no money to spare for any amenities, even the Enclave on Dantooine seems a paradise in comparison. And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived, and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human. The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order, the one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians, she was human. I am sorry. I am getting away from my point, if there even was one. Sometimes I curse the day my parents fled to Taris, But then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today. Another story for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic. To save the galaxy, if we can. How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to... Of course.
I'm tired of waiting, Comad. How big can this dragon of yours be? I'm going in.
Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tuk nin chatukunde mulerabes. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulerachi kun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Mucho shakpakat. Keanu no namapaule rachikun. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tuk nin chatukunde mulerabes. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulerachi kun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Dong patukas magtalea. Runda di hodonga kun hunkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tuk nin chatukunde mulerabes. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulerachi kun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga ku hunkabe. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Dong patukas magtalea. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tuk nin chatukunde mulerabes. Mucho shakpakat. Keanu no namapaule rachikun. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulerachi kun. Slimo na rundi hodunga kun kabe. Runda di hodunga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes. Muchashak pakat. Keanu no namapaule rachikun. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Kachikun ida hodonga. Ikin kuno ba mule rachikun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes. Kachikun ida hodonga. Ikin kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga kun kabe. Kachikun ida hodonga. Ikin kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes.
Tong haitwam jiji jum lumpa. Nita poe tikito. Dolpa da bongwalea gandona chuchut. Kachi chu ita dundoga. Yumalita kuto tun. Chila mulane ni dubobo. Wonga kumbis jang ba mulira.
Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes. Kachikun ida hodonga. Ikin kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes. Kachikun ida hodonga. Ikin kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes. Kachikun ida hodonga. Ikin kuno ba mulerachikun. Slimo podona rundi hodonga kun kabe.
Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong nabung siya nununya. Dong patukas magtalea.
Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Tugning chatukunne mulerabes.
Muchashak pakat. Keanu no namapaule rachikun.
What?
아추타. 뭔가 군비스돌 아추타. 뭔가 군비스돌. 제도 봐도 와는 이디보보. 동나 뭉샤 누누냐. 동바두카시막 달래야. 두네 포도. 라는 오프라타 동고 시르카샤. 좀 나피게. Nandayata. Wata yuma wamahuhu nandatik. Shatung ni patoga. Wano kuspe ching palamule tonke. Jedo badawana ni dibobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukashmak talea. Ronda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tongking ba nunotek tok nincha tukune mule rabes mucho shak pakat kiye no nama paule rachikun.
Master?
What? Sure.
Anybody else get the feeling that finding this star map in the back of this Krayt Dragon's cave is more than just a coincidence?
Observation. There is tremendous power emanating from the star map. I wonder if the Krayt Dragon was drawn to this cave because of it. Yes, Master. I am certain you are correct. Now that we have what we came for, I do hope we will be leaving this world soon. I am growing so sick of sand in my circuits.
What?
Ready!
Sure.
I have to give you credit. You've led me on quite a chase, but nobody gets away from Calo Nord in the end.
I see you brought some backup, Calo. Realized we were a bit too much to handle on your own, huh?
You got lucky on Terrace. The Sith attack saved you from a quick and gruesome death. But I promise you, the Sith won't be getting in my way this time. Sorry, I'm not in this for the credits. You're the only ones who've ever gotten away from me. I've got a rep to protect. Let's go, boys. It's showtime.
Sure. Yeah? Yes?
Ready.
Yeah?
Sure.
Ready.
What?
Ready.
How can I help? About my mother? I'm unsure. I seem to find it difficult to remain objective when it comes to her. Do you think I should? That would just lead to another argument. I always despised talking to her. I'll think about it. I should try and remember my training. I should be able to let go of this, but I can't. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's keep going.
How can I help? About my mother? Do you think I should? I would like to keep something to remember Father as much as she would. I'll think about it. I should try and remember my training. I should be able to let go of this, but I can't. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Query, what do you wish to ask of him, Master? Protocol. This will be a very sensitive topic, Master. You will want to be careful with your questions or risk offending him. Not that that is much of a worry. Translation. Translation. You have been told that to be considered worthy of hearing the histories, you need to bring him a dragon pearl from a Krayt Dragon. Translation. He says the discussion is closed until you fulfill this condition. He thinks you are just making fun of his traditions. Translation. Translation. He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave. Translation. He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you. Translation. Translation. Theirs is an oral history, Master, an active part of their lives. It is only permitted to relay the tales face to face. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people. Translation. Translation. He says that you dare not question the accuracy of his information. The stories are learned perfectly by each successive storyteller. Translation. In fact, they aren't allowed to speak the stories aloud unless they are exact. Any error is considered a blasphemy punishable by death. Criticism. It seems inefficient to me, Master. A score of apprentice storytellers would be slaughtered each generation. What if the elder died before completing the teachings? Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off. Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars. Translation. There are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders. Cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change the meaning of what was said. Clarification. They may consider this to be speaking the words in error, a blasphemy they would attempt to kill you for. Clarification. It would appear that they once had a thriving technologically advanced society, but were wiped out by a much more sophisticated alien species. Negative. I am no library, but since there is no Republic record of this planet having sentient life before Zerka colonization, I doubt you will find such evidence. Translation. Translation. He only understands the Builders as an iconic force meant to test the resolve of his people. He is not making sense, Master. Clarification. They claim their stories are repeated unchanged, but they have demonized these Builders. In their minds, they wreaked such havoc they could not possibly be flesh and blood. Cautionary. Master, this line of questioning may be interpreted as attempting to change the story. He may react poorly. Doubting. I don't believe he can, Master. Even if their stories are exact and unchanged, it is likely they were first told thousands of years after these events occurred. This has become very much like a creation myth for his people. There is no date. It simply was. Cautionary. Remember my word. Obedient. I will ask whatever you wish, Master. Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the Builders. The Builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches, until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves. Cautionary. Remember my clarification. I believe they were occupied by this technologically superior species for a substantial period. Stripping an entire planet of usable resources would have taken generations. Translation. Translation. He has no number. He claims that those that were taken were examples of the worst of his kind, arrogant and uncaring of the land. Doubtful. Master, this is just another distortion due to their demonization of the builders. It's like claiming an aspect of his people were taken, not actual individuals. Clearly, history has colored his view. Of course, only the inferior meatbags were taken. The remaining were his ancestors, after all. It must have been special. Obvious. The same reason Zerka Corporation is attempting it now. Expanding empires need tremendous amounts of resources. Cautionary. Obedient. Translation. Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free. Cautionary. Clarification. The occupying force suffered some sort of species-wide plague that lowered their numbers over time. His people used this extended weakness to sabotage their larger ships. The response of the builders appears to have been to lay waste to the entire surface of Tatooine. Doubting. They didn't, Master. They struck a blow. But the storyteller only believes they won because the builders were gone when they emerged from their caves. That does not mean they defeated anyone. It seems clear that the builders simply sterilized their problem and left. The enemy judged them not worthy to fight. Clarification. I may not have properly conveyed how long they fought with the builders. Given time, any number of armaments could destroy a world. Hypothesis. Perhaps this is another distortion. Their climate may have begun to fail due to their unrestrained development even before the builders arrived. Looking back thousands of years later, such a shift could easily be attributed to the much-hated conquerors. Hypothesis. If his people were moving away from technology for a long time under the builders, they may have had extensive cave systems that could grant shelter. I would also suggest that, given the evidence of the massive shift in the nature of their society, most of them did not survive. Cautionary. Obedient. Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk. their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world? Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things? Resignation. Very well, Master. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all the sand people and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to come. Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation. So it is to the current sons that the Sand People hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine. Cautionary. Impatience. Master, I refuse to inconvenience you with this. He spouted names of petty tribal fights in deserts so distant they might as well be across the galaxy. Really, Master, I'm sure it's important to him, but it has nothing of value that you could ever put to use. Agreement. Of course, Master. Just no more of their inane wandering. Obedient. Translation. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all the Sand People and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation. Translation. Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master. Cautionary. Clarification. They appear to hate humanity with a passion only rivaled by their hatred of the Builders. For some reason, you resemble what they once were. Perhaps there is a lingering fear that you are their tainted selves returning from exile among the stars. Cautionary. Master, if you mean to suggest that humanity is ancestrally linked to ancient Tatooine, you will strain his belief system to its pitiful meatbag maximum. Obedient. Translation. Translation. We are free to leave.